All right, so you're prepping for a medical transcriptionist interview.
Want to make sure you stand out.
Yeah, and we've got a whole stack of resources here from RoleCatcher to help you do just that.
We're going to take those career guides and those interview guides and all those helpful hints,
Break them down.
break them down, so you walk into that interview feeling super prepared and confident.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
It's more than just knowing medical terms, though, right?
Right.
It's about showing them you've got the accuracy, the attention to detail,
That you can be trusted.
that commitment to confidentiality.
Yeah, which is so important in this field.
Absolutely.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in to
Exactly.
help fine-tune those answers and really highlight your strengths.
Think of it as like a personalized coach
Mm.
helping you tailor your responses to the specific job that you're going after.
Okay, so let's dive into some of these interview questions.
All right, let's do it.
This first one is a classic. What inspired you to pursue a career in medical transcription? This is where they want to see your passion for healthcare shine through.
Right, not just a job.
Yeah.
What really speaks to you?
Not just a job, it's about making a difference in patient care.
Right.
So think about what drew you to this field. Maybe it was a personal experience,
Right.
maybe a fascination with medicine, or just that satisfaction of knowing you're playing a vital role behind the scenes.
Yeah, behind the scenes, but so important.
Yeah.
So instead of just saying good pay,
Right.
which we all know is a good thing,
Yeah, it is a good thing.
but find that deeper connection that resonates with you.
Exactly. They might even follow up with something like, what aspects of medical transcription do you find most rewarding?
Oh, so you got to be ready for that.
You got to be ready.
Those follow-up questions.
Yes. Anticipate those follow-ups and be ready to showcase your understanding of the role.
All right, so how would you answer that one?
Well, you can talk about the challenge of deciphering medical jargon.
Which I would imagine is quite a lot.
It can be a lot.
Yeah.
The meticulous nature of the work and that feeling of contributing to accurate and efficient patient care.
Okay, so really highlighting those key things that are important to the role.
Yes.
Okay, next up is a question that's all about your skills. How do you ensure accuracy and attention to detail in your work? And I would imagine they want more than just, I'm a detail-oriented person.
Absolutely. They want concrete examples. So think about specific techniques that you use.
Okay.
Maybe you have a meticulous proofreading process,
Uh-huh.
a system for double checking,
Okay.
or perhaps you utilize specific software tools.
Oh, okay. And this is where RoleCatcher AI can come in handy, right?
Yeah, they can.
To help you pinpoint those achievements
Absolutely.
that really show this.
Yeah, it's like having a personal assistant that can comb through your work history to find those golden nuggets that will impress the interviewer.
Yeah, love that. Okay, so next question. How do you handle confidential patient information? This feels like a no-brainer. It's all about HIPAA, right?
Yes, but don't just rattle off the regulations. Show them you understand the why behind it.
Okay.
The importance of protecting patient privacy.
Right.
The ethical implications of mishandling sensitive information. Talk about how you personally approach confidentiality, not just that you know the rules.
Right. They want to see that you take it seriously.
Absolutely, and be ready for a follow-up. Like, have you ever encountered a situation where someone attempted to access confidential information inappropriately? How did you handle it?
Oh, that's a good question.
They want to see your integrity and your commitment to doing the right thing.
So it's not just about knowing the rules, it's also about how to apply them
It is.
and showing good judgment.
Right.
Okay, a question that often trips people up. What is your greatest weakness?
Oh, yes.
So how do you tackle this one?
Well, it's not about pretending to be perfect. It's about being self-aware.
Right.
So don't try to disguise a strength as a weakness.
Okay, because they've heard it all.
They've heard it all before. Choose a weakness that's relevant but not critical to the role. Maybe you sometimes struggle with multitasking when faced with urgent tasks. Or perhaps you have a tendency to overthink details and you need a little reminder to move on.
Okay, so it's about choosing something that is a weakness, but not going to totally disqualify you,
Right.
and also something you're actively working on.
Yes, it is.
That shows growth.
It shows growth. Maybe you've implemented time management techniques.
Okay.
You're practicing mindfulness to improve focus.
Oh, I like that.
RoleCatcher AI can help you here too,
Oh, that's good.
by suggesting weaknesses based on your profile and the job requirements.
Okay, so it's really about choosing a weakness that you can actually talk about constructively
Absolutely.
and show that you're proactive about self-improvement.
Yes.
Okay, on to a question that really puts those problem-solving skills to the test. Can you describe a time when you had to work on a particularly challenging project or assignment?
All right, so they want to hear a story.
Okay.
Specific anecdote.
A good story.
A good story that shows how you handle pressure, how you overcome obstacles and get things done. Choose something that highlights the skills needed for this job. Maybe transcribing a complex dictation with multiple speakers.
Okay.
Or dealing with difficult audio quality.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge.
Yeah, so pick a story that highlights those core skills. Attention to detail, accuracy, and the ability to stay focused even when things get tough.
And it's okay, right, if the story doesn't have a perfect ending?
It's not about being perfect. It's about showing that you can learn from your mistakes and come back stronger.
Exactly. Now, this next question can feel a bit like a minefield. How do you handle a situation where you disagree with a physician's dictation or diagnosis?
This is where diplomacy is key. You want to show that you can raise concerns respectfully.
Right.
Seek clarification without being confrontational.
Mm.
And prioritize the well-being of the patient.
So it's finding that balance between respecting authority,
Yes.
but also advocating for accuracy.
You got it.
Because ultimately, that's what's important. Okay, so how would you approach that situation?
You had mentioned that you would double-check your understanding.
Okay.
Maybe consult resources like medical dictionaries
Okay.
before respectfully raising any concerns with the physician. Frame it as a question or a request for clarification, like, I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly.
So approach it with humility.
Yes.
And a genuine desire to just make sure things are correct.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about those career aspirations.
All right.
The next question is, what are your long-term career goals? It's a chance to show them you're not just looking for a job, but a career path.
Yes.
Where you can grow and make a real impact.
They want to see your ambition, your vision for the future, and how this role fits into your overall career trajectory.
So what are some good examples of long-term goals for this role?
You could talk about specializing in a particular medical specialty like radiology or cardiology.
Okay.
Or maybe you see yourself moving into a supervisory or management role within the transcription department.
Okay. You could even mention those related career paths like medical coding or billing as highlighted in RoleCatcher's career guide.
Okay, so it's all about showing that you're looking ahead.
It is.
And thinking about how this role can be a stepping stone
Yes.
to a fulfilling career in healthcare.
And remember, RoleCatcher AI can suggest relevant career goals
Oh, that's helpful.
based on your skills and the job requirements. Now let's lighten things up a bit with a question about your interests outside of work. What are your hobbies and interests outside of work?
Oh, yes.
I always get a little stumped by this one.
Don't overthink it. Just be genuine and talk about things you enjoy.
Okay.
The key is to choose hobbies that reflect your personality, your values, or even your skills in a way that connects with the role.
So if I'm applying for a medical transcriptionist position, should I say that my hobby is dissecting medical terminology textbooks?
Not quite.
Okay.
Think about hobbies that demonstrate attention to detail, love of language, or the ability to focus for extended periods. Maybe you enjoy knitting intricate patterns.
Yeah.
Writing or solving complex puzzles.
Okay, so those are great examples.
Yes.
And then if your hobbies are more, spending time with family or, enjoying nature, that's perfectly fine too.
That's perfectly fine too.
It's all about just being yourself and letting your personality shine through.
Exactly. It's a reminder that you're not just a robot applying for jobs. You're a human being with diverse interests.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's tackle the big one. Why should we hire you?
The big one.
It's like your closing argument.
Yes, it is.
Your chance to leave a lasting impression.
Your chance to shine.
So how do we approach this one without sounding like we're bragging?
Just be concise, confident, and enthusiastic.
Okay.
Highlight the most relevant points from the interview and connect them directly to the job requirements.
Okay.
Briefly summarize your qualifications and experience, emphasizing your strengths and how they align with the role.
And is it good to mention those unique qualities or experiences that make you stand out?
Absolutely. This is your chance to showcase what makes you special and why you're the best fit for the team.
Yeah, so it's finding that balance between summarizing your qualifications,
Yes.
but also highlighting what's unique about you.
And remember, RoleCatcher AI can help you craft a compelling closing statement that incorporates all of these elements, making a strong case for why you're the ideal candidate.
Wow, it's like having a personal speechwriter on call.
It really is.
That's great.
It's there to help you.
Well, I think we're off to a fantastic start here with these questions.
I think so too.
We've got a lot more to dive into, though.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned.
Stay with us. Welcome back to our deep dive into medical transcriptionist interview prep. You're doing great. Keep it up.
Now, before we jump back into those questions, let's take a quick look at some insights from RoleCatcher's Career Guide.
Okay.
It mentions some really fascinating trends that are shaping the role of a medical transcriptionist.
Yeah, it's a dynamic field, constantly evolving with technology. The guide talks about voice recognition software becoming more sophisticated,
Okay.
which can speed up transcription.
So it makes things faster.
It does.
Does that mean robots are going to take over?
No, it's not about being replaced by robots. It's about working alongside them.
Okay.
So medical transcriptionists are increasingly becoming editors, proofreaders,
Cool.
quality assurance specialists ensuring accuracy and making sure those automated systems produce reliable medical records.
Oh, that's a really interesting point
Yeah,
to bring up in an interview as well.
absolutely.
It shows that you're aware of those changes that are happening and that you're ready to adapt.
Absolutely. And speaking of adapting, the guide also stresses the need for continuous learning.
Okay.
Staying up to date with medical terminology, industry updates, and new technologies is absolutely essential.
So always be learning.
Yes.
And things like certifications can really help with that.
Those certifications like certified medical transcriptionist or registered healthcare documentation specialist can really demonstrate your commitment to the profession.
Show them you're invested.
Exactly. Show them you're invested in your career and dedicated to maintaining those high standards.
Okay, so now let's get back to those interview questions we left off with a challenging one.
Yes, we did.
So let's keep that momentum going.
Okay.
How about this one? What are your salary expectations? This is one that makes even seasoned professionals squirm a bit.
It does. It's always a little awkward talking about money,
Yeah.
but it's a question you need to be prepared for.
So how do you tackle this one?
You do your research beforehand.
Okay.
Use resources like RoleCatcher's salary data or websites like Glassdoor or Indeed
Right.
to understand the average salary for medical transcriptionists in your area.
So know your worth.
Exactly.
Okay, and once you've done that research, what do you do with that information?
Once you have a salary range in mind, you can frame your answer in a confident and flexible way. You could say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm targeting a salary range of X to Y. However, I'm also open to discussing the specific responsibilities and benefits of the role.
So it's not about just like throwing out a number.
Right?
It's showing that you've done your homework and you're open to discussion.
It is. And remember, RoleCatcher's Copilot AI can analyze salary data for comparable roles in your area and offer tailored suggestions
Oh, that's helpful.
for framing your expectations.
Yeah, that takes some of the pressure off for sure. Okay, so for another question that can be tricky, what is your greatest weakness? We touched on this before,
He did.
but it's such a common one.
It is.
It's worth going over again.
It is. This one's about self-awareness and growth. The interviewer wants to see honesty and a willingness to acknowledge areas for improvement.
Okay, so what's the best way to go about answering this one?
Choose a weakness that's relevant to the role, but not a deal breaker. For example, you might say you sometimes struggle with multitasking when faced with urgent tasks.
Okay.
Or perhaps you have a tendency to overthink details.
Okay, so relatable weaknesses
Yeah.
that you're also working on.
Yes, it's about choosing something that's relatable, that shows you're human, but also that you're actively working to improve.
So how do you show that you're actively working on that?
You mentioned specific steps you're taking to address that weakness.
Okay.
Maybe you've implemented time management techniques, you are practicing mindfulness, or regularly seek feedback from colleagues to stay on track.
Okay, so you've got a plan.
You do.
You're working on it.
You are. And RoleCatcher's AI can help with this too.
Fantastic.
Suggesting weaknesses based on your profile and the specific job requirements.
So you're not alone in figuring this out.
You're not.
Okay, now let's shift gears a little bit to a question that focuses on teamwork. Can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal?
This is a common question to expect.
Yeah, teamwork's essential in any healthcare setting.
They're looking for evidence of your ability to communicate clearly, listen actively, and contribute to a positive team dynamic.
So what kind of story should we choose for this one?
Pick a story that highlights teamwork skills relevant to a medical transcriptionist.
Okay.
Maybe you collaborated with physicians to ensure accuracy on a complex medical record.
Okay.
Or worked with a team to implement new transcription software.
Okay.
And it's important to highlight your specific role in the team and the contributions you made.
Right. Don't just say we did this.
Exactly. Use I statements to describe your actions, your ideas,
Okay.
and your impact.
So really showing your strengths as a team player.
Yes.
And, of course, RoleCatcher AI can help us find those standout team-oriented stories from our past.
Absolutely it can.
Now, a question that's all about your motivation and drive. What are your long-term career goals?
Okay.
So they want to understand your ambition and how this role fits into your overall career trajectory. So should we aim for the moon here and say we want to be the CEO of a hospital someday?
Ambition is great, but keep it realistic and relevant to the role.
Okay.
Think about goals that reflect your passion for medical transcription.
All right. So what are some good examples?
You can mention specializing in a particular medical specialty or type of transcription,
Okay.
perhaps pursuing advanced certifications, or even moving into a leadership role within the transcription department.
Okay.
And the career guide talks about related career paths like medical coding or billing, showing that you see this as a stepping stone to a fulfilling career in healthcare.
To a long-term career in this field.
Absolutely.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can suggest relevant goals aligned with your skills and the specific job.
It can.
Now let's shift to a more lighthearted question. What are your hobbies and interests outside of work?
Oh, yeah.
I always freeze up at this question.
Just be yourself. Choose hobbies that reflect your personality, your values, or even skills in a way that subtly connects with the role.
Okay, so avoid saying, I enjoy reading medical dictionaries for fun.
Right.
That's not going to get me the job.
Probably not.
Okay.
Think about hobbies that show attention to detail, love of language, or the ability to focus for extended periods.
Okay.
Perhaps you like knitting intricate patterns, writing, or solving complex puzzles.
Oh, that's a great example.
And if your hobbies are more simple, like spending time with loved ones,
Yeah?
that's perfectly fine too. Authenticity is key.
Authenticity. Okay, now let's tackle the big one again. Why should we hire you?
The big one.
It's your final chance to make a lasting impression and showcase your unique value.
So how do you approach this without sounding arrogant?
Yeah, that's the tough part.
Be concise, confident, and enthusiastic. Briefly summarize your qualifications.
Okay.
Emphasizing how your strengths align with the role. Then highlight what sets you apart.
Okay.
A specific skill, a unique perspective, or a deep passion for the field.
So it's finding that sweet spot between summarizing your qualifications and highlighting what makes you uniquely qualified.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you craft a compelling closing statement that ties it all together, making a strong case for why you're the best choice for this role. Now let's switch gears a bit and talk about a crucial aspect of the role itself.
Okay.
The RoleCatcher Guide highlights the importance of understanding the work environment.
That makes sense.
Not all office jobs are created equal.
Right.
While technology is making the job more efficient, the guide also emphasizes the importance of ergonomics.
Okay.
You'll likely be spending a lot of time at a computer, so think about how you can prioritize your long-term well-being in this role.
Yeah, that's important. And this is something I could bring up during the interview, right?
Absolutely.
Asking about the specific work environment and what they do to support their employees.
It shows you're thinking about the bigger picture, not just the day-to-day tasks.
Exactly. Okay, so now back to the questions. Here's one that can catch people off guard. Tell me about a time you had to go above and beyond.
All right, so this is a chance to showcase your dedication and willingness to exceed expectations.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be something dramatic, right?
No, it's about those smaller moments where you show initiative or a willingness to help. Maybe you stayed late to finish a project, volunteered to take on an extra task, or helped a colleague who was struggling.
So it's about those little things that show you're a team player. And committed to doing your best.
And when you tell your story, focus on the actions you took, the challenges you overcame, and the positive impact you made.
So it's not just what you did, it's how you did it.
Exactly.
And the results you achieved.
And the results.
Okay. Welcome back for the final stretch of our Medical Transcriptionist interview prep deep dive.
You've been working hard getting ready for this interview.
We have. We covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But I think the most important tip is to be yourself. Let your passion shine through and show the interviewer why you're the perfect fit for this rewarding role.
You've been working hard. You're almost ready for that interview.
Almost there.
Let's focus on some of those finishing touches. Those subtle but crucial aspects of interview etiquette and strategy that can really make a lasting impression.
Okay, so it's more than just the answers themselves.
It is.
It's about the whole package.
Think of it as like the polish that makes your skills shine even brighter.
Okay, I like that. So let's start with first impressions.
Yeah.
Professionalism goes a long way.
It does, and it starts with how you present yourself.
Okay, so for a medical transcriptionist interview, what does that look like?
The career guide recommends business casual attire.
Okay.
It shows that you take the opportunity seriously, but you're not overly formal.
So ditch the sweatpants, but no need for a full suit.
Exactly. A nice blouse or collared shirt
Okay,
strikes the right balance.
I like that.
And remember, even if the interview is virtual dressing, the part can boost your confidence and help you project that professional image.
That's a really good point. So even if you're at home, still dress up.
Absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about preparation.
Okay.
Beyond practicing answers and things like that, what are some logistical things that we should keep in mind?
If the interview is in person,
Okay.
plan your route.
Okay.
Aim to arrive a few minutes early. It shows you respect their time for virtual interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Test your technology beforehand
Okay.
to avoid any last-minute glitches.
Good idea.
Yeah,
So just minimizing stress, making sure everything runs smoothly
absolutely.
so that the focus is on you and your qualifications.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
have a copy of your resume
Okay.
and any certifications readily available.
Mm.
It shows you're organized and detail-oriented
Point. Yeah.
qualities they're looking for in a medical transcriptionist.
Exactly. Okay, so we've covered professionalism preparation. What about adding a personal touch without going overboard?
It's about those authentic moments of connection.
Okay.
A genuine smile,
Mm-hmm.
warm greeting, active listening. These can go a long way in building rapport with the interviewer.
Okay, so it's not about putting on a show. It's just letting our natural warmth and enthusiasm shine through.
Exactly. Remember, the interviewer is human too.
They are?
They want to connect with you on a personal level and see who you are beyond your qualifications.
Now, what about asking questions?
Good point.
It shows that we're engaged.
It does.
But I often struggle with what to ask.
I understand.
Do you have any suggestions for questions that would really impress a medical transcriptionist interviewer?
Focus on questions that show your interest in the company, the role, and the field itself.
Okay.
You could ask about the company culture, their approach to technology and medical transcription, or their commitment to professional development opportunities.
Those are great examples.
And don't shy away from a little personal touch.
Okay.
Ask the interviewer about their experience in the field, what they enjoy most about their role, or their advice for someone starting out.
Oh, I love that idea.
It's a great way to connect and gain valuable insights.
It is. Okay. Now let's talk about what to do after the interview. A thank you note is always a good idea, right?
Absolutely, but don't just send a generic thank you.
Okay.
Personalize it, mention something specific you discussed,
Okay.
reiterate a key strength you bring, or even briefly address something you wish you'd elaborated on more.
Okay.
Make it memorable.
So make it memorable, show that you were listening
Exactly.
and you were present.
Now, what about following up on your application?
Oh, yeah? How long should you wait?
Patience is key,
Okay.
but it's okay to be proactive.
Okay.
The career guide suggests waiting about a week before sending a polite email inquiring about the timeline for a decision.
Okay.
A second follow-up a week later is generally acceptable, but if you still don't hear anything, it might be time to move on.
Okay. So finding that balance
Yeah,
between persistence, but also respecting their process.
exactly.
Okay. Now let's talk about best case scenario.
Okay.
You get the job offer.
Congratulations.
Any tips for negotiating salary and benefits?
First, take a moment to celebrate. You've earned it.
Yes, you have.
Now, approach the negotiation with confidence and professionalism.
Okay.
Do your research, understand the market rate, and know the value you bring.
It can be intimidating.
I understand, but it's a normal part of the process.
Oh.
Remember, you're aiming for a win-win.
Right.
If their initial offer is below your target range, don't hesitate to counter with a reasonable alternative.
Yeah, know your worth. Be prepared to advocate for yourself.
Absolutely. And negotiation isn't just about salary.
Right.
Consider benefits, vacation time,
Okay.
professional development opportunities, or even flexible work arrangements. It's about finding a package that aligns with your needs and priorities.
This has been so helpful. I feel so much more prepared to handle this whole interview process now.
I'm glad. And remember,
Yes,
you have a powerful ally in RoleCatcher's AI.
we do.
It can help you refine your resume, tailor your answers, practice your delivery, and even navigate those negotiations.
Oh, wow. It's like having a personal career coach right in your pocket.
It is. It really is.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. We've talked about technology transforming medical transcription.
We have.
How can you stay ahead of the curve and become even more tech savvy?
That's a great question.
So maybe explore online courses, attend industry webinars, or connect with experts to really see what the future holds.
Those are great ideas. The healthcare world is constantly changing, and those who embrace innovation and continuous learning will thrive.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for all of these incredible insights.
You're very
I
welcome.
feel like I'm ready to ace that interview.
I think you are.
That's a wrap on our deep dive. We hope you feel prepared, confident, and ready to showcase your amazing skills as a medical transcriptionist.
Best of luck in